Good afternoon, students. Myself, Dr. Hridayesh, Department of Zoology, NREC College, Khurja. And my topic is migration in fishes. Many types of fishes migrate from one place to another on a regular basis on time scale ranging from daily to annually or longer, and over distances ranging from a few meters to thousands of kilometers. Fishes usually migrate to feed or to reproduce, but in other cases, the reasons are unclear. Migration involves movement of the fish on a larger scale and duration, and those arising during normal daily activities. Some particular types of migration are anadromous, in which adult fishes live in the sea and migrate to freshwater to spawn, and catadromous, in which the adult fishes live in fresh water and migrate into salt water to spawn. Here you can see in this picture, some fishes are migrated in the larger areas. So they want to go in larger areas because of the less area in their local sites. So on the basis of migration, on the basis of spawning, actually, the fishes can be divided into, or you can say the migration can be divided into in three parts: diadromous, paramodromous, or oceanodromous. Diadromous can further divided into two subcategories like anadromous and catadromous. As I told earlier, in anadromous migration, fishes migrates from seawater to freshwater, and in catadromous, fishes can move from freshwater to seawater. In case of potamodromous migration, fishes move from one freshwater habitat to another freshwater habitat, and in oceanodromous migration, fishes move from seawater to another habitat of seawater. You can see here the ecology of migration. So, in the ecology of migration, the animal behavior of mass movement of animals takes place from one place to another, and the purpose for migration varies accordingly with the type of animals. Migratory behavior of fish is a regular phenomena, and their journey is purposed mainly for feeding and reproduction. Movement of fishes taking place, many types like drifting movement, dispersal movement, swimming movement, denatant movement, and concomitant movement. In case of drifting movement, it is a passive type of movement. So fish is swim along with the water current. In dispersal movement, it is a random locomotive movement, and fish form a uniform habitat to move to different diverse directions or in different diverse varieties. Swimming movement is an oriented movement of fish either towards or away from the source of stimulus. Denatant or concomitant movement is an active type of movement. In denatant movement, it is swimming with water current, and concomitant, the swimming is against the water current. Their need. So fishes are moving according to their needs. It's true. The animals migrate for feeding purposes in search of feeding grounds, and it occurs when the food resources get exhausted. Gameting or spawning migration occurs during breeding season in search of the suitable spawning grounds. Climatic or seasonal migration occurs when the suitable climatic conditions are wanting, or there is some extreme climatic conditions. Osmoregulatory migration, it is a migration for water and electrolytes balance from sea to freshwater and freshwater to seawater. Juvenile migration is the migration of young ones, or you can say the larval migration from spawning grounds to the feeding habits of the parents. Fish migration on the basis of their need. The migration of some fishes is a regular journey and is truly an innate animal behavior. Diadromous migration is the migration of fresh water to salt water and salt water to fresh water. So it is two-way migration and it can be divided into two types, anadromous and catadromous. Here you can see the freshwater condition, ocean condition, and here is the estuary. That means the fishes goes from freshwater to ocean or ocean to freshwater or rivers through estuaries. So estuaries is the place where both type of water is mixed together, freshwater and salt water. Anadromous migration is the migration of marine fishes from sea to freshwater for spawning, and the fishes spend most of their life living and feeding in the sea, then only migrate during breeding season to the rivers for spawning grounds like hilsa, salmon, lamprey, and when they migrate, some physiological changes occurs in their body like stop feeding, color changes from silver to dull reddish brown, gonads become mature and they select suitable spawning grounds and make a saucer-like nest in which females lay eggs and male releases smat over them. Juvenile larva hatched out from the eggs known as alevins, and alevins then transformed into the juveniles called purr, and purrs metamorphosed into the adult when returned to the sea. Some anadromous fishes are here, it's the salmon, lamprey, hilsa. You can see the morphology of the anadromous fishes. Migratory pattern of Pacific salmon. You can see here the migratory pattern of salmon. It is the general migratory pattern of salmon in which you can see the North American region and some freshwater sources or rivers, and it is the Pacific Ocean. The fishes are moving from seawater to freshwater and goes young ones goes back to the rivers. So most salmon species migrates during September or November. Salmon mostly spend their early life in rivers and then swim out to sea when they live their adult life and gain most of their body mass. When they have matured, they return to the rivers to spawn. Here you can see the anadromous life cycle of salmon. Catadromous migration, it is the migration of freshwater fishes from river to sea during breeding season for spawning, for example, eel or angora species. Both European eel and American eel migrate from continental rivers to Sargasso Sea of Bermuda in South Atlantic for spawning, crossing Atlantic Ocean. Before and during migration, some physiological changes occurs in their bodies. So there is a deposition of large amount of fat in their bodies which serve as the reserve food during the journey. Color changes from yellow to metallic silvery gray, digestive tract shrinks and stop feeding, eyes gets enlarged and vision sharpen, other sensory organs also become sensitive. Skin serves respiratory organs, gonads get matured and enlarged, and they lay eggs in suitable spawning grounds and are fertilized by male. After spawning, they die and the larvae hatch out and develop into young eels and finally return to the rivers. Here you can see the some species, morphology of the some species of Angola like Angola rostrata, Angola vulgaris and Angola. They are snake-like fishes. Catadromous life cycle of Angola species. You can see here the fishes can go, adult goes from fresh water to marine water for spawning purposes and their young ones return to the fresh water through estuaries. Some other type of migration like oceanodromous migration, it is the migration of fish within sea in search of suitable feeding grounds and spawning ground. Like clupea, this is the clupea and this is tuna fish. Oceanodromous life cycle, you can see here the adults goes from home reefs to spawning grounds in oceans and return to their home reefs. Young ones return to their home reefs. So it is the oceanographic life cycle, that means the movement of fishes from sea to sea. Amphidromous type of migration, in which amphi means both. So the fishes can live in both the conditions, either in fresh water or in marine water or estuaries. So the fishes are normally born in freshwater estuaries and then move into the ocean as larvae before migrating back into the freshwater to grow into adults and spawn. For example, bigmouth, slipper, mountain mullets, sirchogoby, and Toronto fish, etc. Vertical migration, you can say up and downstream migration. It is a daily migration of fish from deep to the surface and vice versa for food, protection, and spawning. For example, swordfish. This is the picture of swordfish. It usually moves vertically downwards to greater depth for food. Potamodramus type of migration is the migration from one habitat of freshwater to another habitat of the freshwater. Fishes generally migrate for food on daily basis as the availability of food differs from one place to another and from season to season. Fishes also must migrate to lay their eggs in place where oxygen concentration in water is more and where there is abundance of food for juveniles when they hatch from eggs. So they go in search of more food and good spawning grounds. Latitudinal migration is the migration of fish from north to south and south to north. You can say here the migration of the fishes, and the fins helps in keeping direction and the body balance while swimming, and the tail is moved in a zigzag way to push the body forward. The example is also swordfish. It migrates north in spring and south in autumn. Shoreward migration is the type of migration where a temporary movement of fishes from water to land. For example, the common eel travel from one pond to another through moist meadow grass, or you can say muddy areas. The mud skipper also can move to land in muddy areas and make temporary migration to land by means of modified pectoral fins. Here you can say the pectoral fins of mud skipper. This is the modified pectoral fins of mud skipper. Significance of this migration, yes, it is really significant. Actually, fishes are migrate from one place to another to find suitable feeding and spawning ground, for protection from predators, for better food condition to their young ones, survive from extreme climatic conditions, increase genetic diversity, and it is an adaptational character for survival and existence. So everybody knows the phenomena of survival of the fittest. So if they will not go, they can die. So they have to move and migrate from one place to another for better living conditions. Thank you so much.